Google just killed Fitbit. The app, the name, the subscription price, all replaced in 1 week, and your wearable quietly got a science upgrade that most outlets haven't noticed. And there's a peer-reviewed Nature study behind it, tested on over 1,000 people, and it changes what a $99 tracker can tell you about your metabolism. Okay, let's check it out. May 7th, Google ships the Fitbit Air, a screenless tracker for $99 that undercuts Whoop's entire subscription model. May 19th at I/O, 3 things landed at once. The Fitbit app force updates to Google Health. Fitbit Premium jumps from $79.99 to $99.99 a year, a 25% hike. And Wear OS 7 arrives with Gemini AI on the wrist, but only for new watches. So together, that's Google rebuilding its entire health platform from scratch. And the rebranding is the least interesting part. Between May 19th and 26th, every Fitbit user got auto-updated. New 4-tab layout, no opt-out. Google's support page confirms the cuts, badges, sleep animals, snore detection on Sense and Versa 3, LifeScan glucose integration, all gone. But the price move is the one to watch. According to Android Authority, Google Health Premium is now bundled free with Google AI Pro and Ultra subscriptions in over 30 countries. Your health data is the on-ramp to a broader Google AI subscription. But does the AI coach justify the hike? Google's Health Coach, Gemini-powered, live since May 19th, does conversational fitness planning, adaptive sleep coaching, and lets you log workouts by photographing a gym whiteboard. Pretty standard AI fitness stuff, except for one detail. In the US, Google Health can now pull your actual clinical records, prescriptions, lab work, immunizations, through a company called Be Well, verified by Clear using IAL2 identity assurance. That's a selfie plus government ID, the same verification as the TSA fast lane. Once verified, the app auto-discovers your records across providers and feeds them to the AI coach. Google's Chief Health Officer, Michael Howell, says this enables cholesterol guidance based on your actual clinical data. Whether that excites you or terrifies you depends on how you feel about airport face scanners knowing your fasting glucose. Now, the part of this story that nobody else is covering. In March 2026, Metwally, Haydari, and colleagues published a study in Nature, not a preprint, Nature, called the Wear Me trial. They gave 1,165 people Fitbit and Pixel Watch devices, collected continuous sensor data alongside fasting blood draws, and built a model to predict insulin resistance, the metabolic warning that can precede type 2 diabetes by years. WUROC of 0.80, where 1.0 is perfect and 0.5 is a coin flip. Sensitivity 76%, specificity 84%. Solid, not spectacular. But the method shifts things. Google pre-trained a wearable foundation model on 40 million hours of sensor data from 1.4 million people, then compressed each participant's patterns into a single embedding. So combined with blood biomarkers, the WUROC jumped to 0.88. The paper's SHAP analysis showed wearable data alone carried 82% of the predictive signal, more than fasting glucose. Your sleep patterns and heart rate rhythms are telling a model more about your insulin resistance than a blood draw. Think about that. And the Fitbit Air is the $99 entry point to that data pipeline. The Air is a screenless pod, optical heart rate, SpO2, skin temperature, background AFib detection, 7-day battery, 50-meter water resistance. DC Rainmaker called it a Charge 6 with the display removed. No mandatory subscription. The free tier covers sleep stages, HRV, cardio load, and readiness. Whoop charges $199 to $359 a year. According to DC Rainmaker, Whoop posted a hastily written Reddit response within hours of the announcement, followed by a CEO vertical video and what Ray called a passive-aggressive tweet. One real gap though. The Air samples heart rate at half a hertz, once every 2 seconds. Whoop runs at 26 hertz, 52 times more data per second, confirmed by a peer-reviewed study in Physiological Reports. For resting heart rate, half a hertz is fine. For beat-to-beat HRV during training, the kind that flags over training, it's a real limitation, and Google hasn't published independent accuracy data yet. And this is where Wear OS 7 closes the loop. Built on Android 17, Wear widgets replacing tiles, live updates on the watch face, 10% better battery, and an app functions API that lets Gemini trigger third-party apps from the wrist. But Gemini intelligence requires a Gemini Nano V3 chip. And according to Digital Trends, that cuts out every current Pixel Watch and most Galaxy Watch models on the market. And Google hasn't published a compatibility list yet. But if you zoom out and the funnel is obvious. $99 for the hardware, free tier to hook you, $10 a month for the coach, $20 for the full Google AI bundle, and a new watch next year for the Gemini stack. Garmin launched Connect Plus at $699 a month, and CEO Cliff Pemble told investors the trial conversion rate is, in his words, very, very high. Samsung's SVP of Digital Health told CNET they're exploring a paid tier too. The whole industry is converging on a monthly AI coaching tax, and whether any of it changes outcomes or just monetizes your data with a chatbot wrapper is still an open question. So if you're a Fitbit user, the switch has already happened. Expect your renewal at $99.99. Google hasn't confirmed grandfathering. If you're eyeing the Air, the free tier is strong enough that you might not need premium at all, and the 3-month trial gives you time to decide. If you want Wear OS 7's Gemini features, wait for the compatibility list. Subscribe if you want to see more breakdowns of health tech like this. The Wear Me study is the most important wearable paper published this year. When Google drops that compatibility matrix, or when the first independent accuracy tests land, we'll be back with the numbers. And until next time, keep it smart, keep it simple, and keep it healthy.